Where are you from?
So I am originally from Valencia. Valencia is a city located in Spain.
Okay. What is your background?
So I went to college in Valencia and I studied French and Spanish. Then I wasn't sure about being a teacher, so I moved to France to improve my French, and I did several different things in France for 4 years, and then I went back to Spain and I started teaching French. I taught Spanish while I was in France, but then I moved back to Spain and I taught French for, I don't know, 10, 12 years before moving to the US.
Wow, okay. When did you know you wanted to be a teacher?
So as I mentioned, I wasn't sure about being a teacher because it was hard to be in front of 25, 30 people looking at you, and you have to know everything because you are supposed to, well, you are the teacher and you are supposed to know everything. But yeah, after I started working in France, I realized that was really what I wanted to do and share everything that I have learned with other people. So, yeah.
When and how did you know you wanted to teach Spanish in a foreign country specifically?
So basically when I went to France, because I realized that teaching to foreign people was really beautiful, really interesting, and also it was a way to show my love for languages and my love for my country, my language. So yeah, I had a really good time teaching Spanish, and then I kept doing that.
Yeah. What do you find most rewarding about your career?
For me, the most rewarding thing is when you teach something and you look at the students and they are interested in what you are explaining, and when you test them, they show you that they have learned something.
What do you find most frustrating?
So the most frustrating thing is just the opposite, when you don't see any interest or you see that you don't reach the students, and you try to find a different way to explain the same thing, and it is still hard to see some of the students who give up or for some reason. That's the most frustrating thing.
Yeah. How has teaching changed since you started your career?
So I think parents are much more involved nowadays. So, and this is helpful because when there is a problem with our students or they need some help, they always have their parents behind to help them and help you as a teacher as well.
And how about how has teaching changed between France and America?
These are two different systems. I don't know. I would say in France, students are much more independent, and also the grading system is much harder in France than here.
Yeah. What does a typical day look like for you now?
So I start with a duty, checking on the students. The first thing I have to do is being on the hallway and do my duty. And then I start teaching the first period. I have to teach middle school. Then I have 1 hour to do my planning and have lunch. Also another duty during lunchtime. And then I have to teach until the end of the school day. And then I go back home, and then I have to grade papers and plan for the next day. So it's never finished.
A lot of work, even outside of school.
Yeah.
What kind of education or experience do employers look for in your field?
So one of the things they look for is your experience. If you have a good background with experience and you have you prove that you know what you are supposed to do as a teacher, that's very important for them.
Do you think that a lot of educators would pick a Spanish teacher from Spain or from a Spanish-speaking country over an American teacher that knows how to speak Spanish?
No, I don't think so. I think Americans can teach Spanish as well as we do.
Mm-hmm.
The only advantage we have is that the language comes naturally to us, but when you learn how to teach, everything is fine. Actually, I think I am a better French teacher since since I learned all the grammar, I studied everything.
Yeah.
Well, I did both Spanish and French, so I studied the language when I was in college. But everybody can teach a foreign language.
And what other advice do you have for someone looking to be a teacher like you?
So I think you have to be very patient. Mm-hmm. You have to be very patient with students, and you have to love what you're doing, because otherwise you get frustrated really easy, and you have to go back home and think tomorrow is going to be a different day, and come back to work and do your best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well,